some more goodness.
The reality is that because I've been so sick, I literally, obviously, as is well documented at this point, when anything is wrong with me, I literally don't give men any type of time of day at all for obvious reasons. They don't help anything. They're
just
pretty worthless most of the time, and they don't fucking make me feel better. So
nope.
I've been sick.
If anything, make you feel worse.
Not been dating. Thus, we have a very rant-centric topic this week. Bring on the anger management, but
before we get to that,
yeah, before
we're gonna start something that might become a new segment. I'm not sure yet, but we're gonna test it out.
Yes.
So, just gonna take a couple minutes to get on my therapy couch. I gotta lay back, doc. So I just want you to listen. Just let me cook. So, we're getting into the time here in MN where winter is coming. It's getting cold outside, and we're definitely in the middle of cuffing season. Everybody wants their little cuddy buddy for show, and it just got me thinking that when you've gone an absorbent amount of time without what do you call it? Doing a nasty? Is that what your kids call it now? I don't know.
Yeah, the kids might be calling it. Who knows what they are calling it?
I just don't know how people do it without it really ruining every
their
aspect of their life.
Accurate.
I be in the grocery store and I be mad about things for no reason.
No, I know. Your point is that you do it once and then you're you remember how great it is and then you're just upset that you're not getting it all the time. Correct?
The virgins in life stay that way.
Ignorance
guys.
Is bliss. Okay.
You just don't know.
We're on the same page.
You don't know, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you.
So keyword being exorbitant. What is exorbitant?
So
define.
That's why I need to come to therapy.
Right.
I need to understand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it hasn't been an absorbent amount of time.
No. I doubt you're wrong. I doubt you're wrong.
Because there's some people that
I guarantee I'm going to say less time than you.
I've met people that have gone just 2 weeks without it, and they're upset.
Right.
And I've met people that have gone 2 years and not been upset,
and they're fine. Yeah, thriving.
So I'm on the couch with you, Doc, because
right.
I need to know, I don't even know if I could say the number that I'm at currently right now, but let's just say that it is in between those two numbers.
There's an S. So there's an S on the end.
Yes.
It's not a week. It's not a month.
No.
There's an S on the end.
No, it's not. We can play the Tyrion drinking game where you tell me something and if I lie, I got to drink. You got me drinking a lot so far. So.
I could not agree with you more that it's almost the longer it is, you kind of reach a point where it's past the peak of anger and then just kind of zombie life from there on out. Because
yeah.
I'm not going to say, because you can't go so far as to say you're happy about it. You're not happy about it no matter how long it goes.
No chance.
But it just reaches a point where it's just kind of a gray area. You just accept it.
It's just, and again, that's why I'm here in therapy, because I want you to tell me, Doc, that it's okay. I haven't waited long enough for it to be maddening. Because here's the thing, I know that this isn't the longest I've gone.
Right.
So in the realm of I know I can do it.
Yeah.
That part is I
and
do
I
know.
mean, with the advent of TikTok and these other social media and other things like this, internet generally, it's pretty clear to me at least that you're not alone. We're not alone in this. Single people, if there's one thing I've always fucking said, being single isn't for the weak.
Just like History Week, not for the weak.
These droughts, they're not personal. They're a collective problem with being single. It is what it is. We all have to deal with it. For me personally, the sweet spot of anger before it starts to just subside into depressive acceptance.
Manic episode, if you will.
Yeah.
A break.
Yeah, psychotic break.
Psychotic, yeah.
Is probably it's going to be a lot less than what you want me to say.
I want to hear it either way. I'm on the couch, Doc. I'm here. I'm I'm
The
ready.
anger is growing and growing and growing for probably 2 months.
Okay.
And then at around that 2-month mark, if it's just looking bleak as fuck, is when it starts to just
The edge.
plateau.
Okay.
The edge just kind of starts to, and, like, again, not in a good way.
Yeah. No, I'm
But like if there's prospects around, then the anger bubbling is still in my heart because it's just like, why is this deal not closing?
Yeah.
But like, like I said, like I've been sick, like whatever, like XYZ circumstances, blah blah blah.
This is not you on the therapy couch right now. This is me.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say 2 months is the peak of my anger.
Well, I am far past your peak then, madam.
And your point is what? That you just feel outraged or that you feel numb?
I don't know. I don't know what I feel.
Yeah, that's
I'm erratic.
Yeah.
Irrational.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I long for the days of brothels and more fun times. Like, okay, let me put it like this. This is how I end this. I know that I'm at my peak when I'm contemplating paying for sex.
I had that thought the other day too. What was I doing? Something very mundane, like walking around my building, and I was just like, "This can't be like the best there is."
No,
I was like, maybe I should just start like literally paying.
Once I'm like, you know what? I skip a couple of nights out to Jackson, throw it to a why not?
Right.
Once that logic starts coming, I know I've gone too far. So,
see, I don't even think it's too far. My issue with paying for sex is quite simply that I don't think that the industry has reached an ethical point yet.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other podcast right there.
Right. But I don't have any problem with it in theory. I don't think it's like I don't think it's ethically questionable in and of itself. I just think that not the point.
Funny enough about getting things off your chest, the actual main topic today is kind of in that spirit, I would say. Like,
oh yeah, like I said, very ranty.
As the self-proclaimed and friend-anointed Prince Petty of the podcast, we're finally talking about something I put on the list a long time ago, and that is just the pettiness in the game.
Yeah.
And I
very
think,
key topic, honestly.
I think originally what sparked this is an episode we already did. Funny enough, with you and a friend, where we were talking about the red receipts, and I said that a reason that I used the red receipts was partly to be petty, and if I knew for a fact that you saw my message X amount of hours, you were getting that amount of hours for a reply and not a minute more. You
know what's so funny is that you're the one that got me to use red receipts more.
You're welcome.
I still don't use it like across the board, just with like key individuals. But I actually have really come to like it. You've converted me. I used to be like, no fucking way. I've been on this fine program.
Somebody called a producer. Play it back. Play the clip
play
back.
The tip.
Play the clip
check
back.
Literature. And now I'm like kind of very into it. I don't know. There's something just very like ownership. What's the word I'm looking for? Just like I am in charge.
Empowering.
Yeah.
We know the CEO loves power.
Right.
So.
And it does feel like, bitch, I read your shit. I don't care. Or like whatever, And then in a more like heartfelt way, I like to let my friends know like what if I am paying attention.
Yeah. Okay.
All that is beside the point.
We're not here for the heartfelt.
We're here for the fucking bullets today. Bullets only.
We're here for the petty. So actually, because I believe I'm more petty than you,
which is interesting because people think I'm a fucking bitch. They really do.
But you can be a bitch and not be petty.
Interesting. In what way?
So, I mean, there are people that are mean.
Yeah, people think I'm mean.
But you're not petty. So, like...
what's the difference?
Okay, all right.
I mean, I agree with you that there is a difference. I just struggle to say
let me make like an example. Like, there was one time... I'll even use this as a real example. There was one time that I had hit up some people to go out for like a birthday weekend, and I had gotten a response from a group. It was like 4 of them.
Okay.
and everybody was down.
Okay.
Then I saw only one of them that specific evening and got no response as to why no one could show up. The next day, the next week, I proceeded not to text those people that didn't show up for 450 days. I was like, I've got nothing to say.
So you're saying that what you did was petty and what
That
they
is-
did was mean?
Well, yeah, it's mean to make a plan. and
Yeah,
say
well, I'm
nothing.
agreeing, yeah.
But it's petty to ignore someone
yeah, to then just
for
not
something
speak to
so
them
simple.
for
Especially when
over
it's
a year.
like, these were not people that I just kind of knew. Like, these are people I've known for many years. Like,
So let me ask you this. Is every petty act have an element of, I don't want to say childishness, but for lack of a better word.
100%.
Okay, so that is integral to the act.
A majority of petty actions are not mature in any way, shape, or form. And I am not going to be the one here to dissuade anyone in any way. Like, I know myself. It's cool. I'm a giant kid. But again, that's why I print petty.
Well, okay,
Not
so
king
now that
petty.
we've defined petty to some degree, let's just cut right to the chase before we have some other examples from other people. But what's the pettiest thing that you did to someone you were dating or talking to? And then what's the pettiest thing someone did to you?
Oh, see, that's the thing. I try not to be petty to women that I'm truly interested
Okay,
in.
that's good.
Um,
Round of applause. Thank you. Shout out to you.
so I'm probably gonna have to cook on an example for that. Pettiest thing that happened to me.
I literally know both of mine easily off the top
Really?
of my head. Yeah.
Oh well, then you go first. Let me think about it, because
Pettiest thing a guy ever did to me, aside from, again, the general tomfoolery of men trying to make you think they like you when they fucking don't, but again, that falls more into the mean category than petty, is one time I have seen this guy, and funny enough, well, I won't put that on wax, but anyway, the point is, we were hanging out, or rather, like, I was being clingy at his house. This was when I was pretty young, obviously. And
not the CEO yet.
My friends were like hitting me up because they were like kind of mad at me that I was like hanging out with the guy instead of them.
Yeah,
And so I was being kind of pulled in these two different directions, but I wanted to hang out with the guy.
of course.
But he knew that like I was just kind of hanging around, and that like he just knew. He just had total control of the situation. And he basically like fucking Tom fooled his way into convincing me to go pick up Chipotle for me, him, and his roommate. While they were like, what was it? They were watching a show or playing the game or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, by the time you get back, like we'll be done, and then we can like actually hang out.
Yeah.
Which was already a little bit sus, but whatever. That's not quite really what the problem was. So I get back. So they give me their order. I go get the food and bring it back, and they bought mine. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll go get it.
Yeah.
But then I got back, and he had like messed up his order. Like he messed it up in telling it to me. But then when he got it, he like was so mad at me that it was wrong. And then he tried to basically be like, oh, well, so then he yelled at me, and obviously I got mad because I was like, you're the one that fucking told me, and I'm doing you a favor by going to get it.
Yeah.
But then he tried to be like, oh, well, if you don't want to be here, like you can just go hang out with your other friends since they obviously want to hang out with you. So like he tried to be like, oh, like maybe this is just more mean. But in the moment it was like petty because it was just like, oh, so now you're going to act like I wasn't doing you a favor by picking it up, and you're just going to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
Like, you can get out of here. Even
Right.
though, like, he knows
If
damn well.
he's basically saying like, if I'm gonna act away, even though he's the one that got mad because he fucked up his order, he's like, well, if you're just gonna like be mad at me, then why don't you just go hang out with your friends?
Okay.
That was a really complicated story for no reason.
That actually reminds. Okay, so I can think of something. I don't know if this is the most.
Needless to say, he was a fucking dick. So that's
Yeah,
beside the point. But
Spoiler alert. Doesn't sound great. No, actually, that actually does spark a petty moment that occurred to me. This girl that I was hollering at, and we had been talking for maybe like a couple weeks or whatever. But she knew some people in my friend group were having a party this like an upcoming weekend, and she had known about it. She knew I wanted to go. She was invited, so it wasn't like, oh, you can't roll. But she made it very clear to me that she was having something going on the same day and that she would be very disappointed if I didn't show up. So I was like, hey, I'm not trying to ruin this punani. So I was like, hey, guys, I'm going to go stop over there, and then, I'll see what's up.
Right.
I come to find out there was absolutely nothing planned. She simply didn't want me to go to the party because she knew of certain other females were there that she didn't like.
Oh.
And made it a point
That's
to hang out just late enough.
my blood.
Just late enough. And for us to have just enough drinks that there was no way we could now go to said party. And I just had to miss this whole thing, only to then get phone calls and texts like, hey, where you at?
Right. They're like low-key mad at you.
Which, ironic, then she's getting mad at me getting these calls.
That's the thing. I feel like when these toxic people do this shit, they literally like, it's petty, but it's also gaslighting. It's literally like they do some shit that is out of pocket, you get mad, and then they're like, why are you mad? And they're like mad at you for being mad. It's like, you did the thing that made me mad, though. What are we talking about? Math.
It wasn't mathing. It wasn't mathing. So I missed a good party. I was kind of sad about it. But, I mean, that girl ended up being, how do I say this? Crazy. So,
which is a good segue into this other thing I want to talk about. But I want to say first, the pettiest thing I've ever done, I'll tell two things. One, I've already talked about on this podcast before, is I was in this argument with this dude. We were on and off for a long time. And he sent me a text that was long. I had to scroll on it. It was that long. And I liked it and didn't talk to him for a year.
That is Prince Petty approved.
Liking someone's message is...
long message.
Chef's kiss.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Second thing I did one time, this is very beyond petty category, but I don't care. This guy pissed me off so much that I literally just went over to his house and then like had his roommate let me in, and then just barged into his living room. He was like chilling in there and just cussed him out and did not let him get a word in, and then left the room and left the house so that he would not be able to get a word in. Because I just didn't feel like the text was like, the anger was going to come through well enough.
Yeah.
So I just had to go all the way over there, not tell him I was coming, bang on the door until the roommate answered, go upstairs, cuss him out, and then leave without him being able to say even one thing. And then I went home and he had replied and like texted me back, and I can't remember if I replied or not, but I literally didn't look at my phone until I was home. So like an hour later. And
you're unclear why you've got the mean persona, huh? It's unclear.
No, it's not unclear. I never said it was unclear. I just said it's untrue. I'm just mean when I like, it's a whole thing, but that's not the point. The point is, petty shit is funny. Now, you just said that girl was crazy.
She was. Probably still is, if I'm being honest.
There are, to be clear, plenty of crazy broads in this world. So I'm not disputing that. What I would say, though,
here we go,
is that men love to say women are crazy just to be fucking petty and piss them off. And usually in those situations, them dudes be the crazy one in that situation. Way more than the chick.
Yeah.
What was that? What'd you say? What'd you say over there? You agree. Come on. You know I'm right.
Okay. The numbers favor your point.
Check the receipts.
I will say that the numbers favor your point. But as someone who, I will say that, you know how, like, people be like, oh, I got, like, a gaydar or whatever? I feel like I got a crazy dar. Like, I fall for a lot of what I think are objectively less than normal females.
Because...
and so, like, I'm hearing what you're saying with the guys that do it, and usually they put themselves in the scenario where that's like their only defense mechanism almost is to like
No,
call
you
them
know what?
crazy.
It's not even that. What it is that the men who are just being petty and saying that women are crazy, what they're talking about is the woman's feelings.
Well, yeah.
And what you're talking about is a woman's actions. Like, there are objectively crazy actions, like, are out of pocket that do not fit the seriousness of the situation. And we know what those kinds of things are. Breaking glass, anything that involves that. Like, anything, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Texting your father questionable things
but,
at night.
you know, when dudes are like, oh, she's fucking crazy, she's all upset over some blah, 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 blah. That's fucking red flag number one, when it's like they're just trying to be petty, be a bitch, be a little fucking little loser. Because it's like, you be acting up. It's the same thing I'm talking about with the gaslighting. Like, he's acting up, she gets mad, he is upset that he's being held accountable for that thing that he's doing. So in reality, you're the fuck boy, she has every right to be pissed, and you're just being petty, calling her crazy. Case closed. Gavel.
I mean, I don't, you know, as the ruler on the petty throne, I don't know if I can allow that to be petty. Like,
it is though. Come on, you've
like
heard dudes. You've heard dirty dogs
it's
say
immature, but I mean, it's like they're just dirty dogs. So their whole actions, I guess.
So they're just mean. They're just losers.
No, they're just existence, I guess, is petty. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know if it's just that particular
See, your problem
thing.
is that you have a hard time forgiving women who fall for these fucking losers. It's because you're just mad that they won't take the nice guy in the first place. That's your problem. That sounds like a personal problem.
Pretty petty over here, so it's most certainly a personal problem. And no, I'm like, hey, you guys can go ahead and do that. It's just that I just don't want to hear about it. And that's the petty in me. Like, I am cool with, like, Spider-Man, everybody gets one. So all y'all get one of these fuckboys.
What wise man once said, once is a lot of things, twice is a decision.
Hey, and that's the problem. Once you start making decisions, I don't want to hear about it. And maybe that is mean and petty. I don't care.
No, I would actually agree with you. I don't want to hear about this shit either, but that doesn't discount the fact that his actions are petty and fucked up. So, yeah, it's irrelevant. These people who are in these situations need to wake the fuck up.
And these women that are crazy need to stop being crazy. So, like, let's call a spade, okay? Call a spade. Oh, but actually, side note from women being crazy is something I did put on this list. So, especially something I've noticed through just even from the pod, but even before, is I put on the list catching strays.
Yeah, I was wondering about this.
So what I mean by that is, like, I will just take an example that is not relevant to anyone, even though you'll laugh at the example anyways. So let's say there's a person who knows somebody else and starts a beef. And this is an A to B situation.
I already fucking know what you're doing. Okay.
And now I'm C. I have no problem with this beef. I am cool with both A and B. But because A or B feels that I like A or B
you
more,
are literally, this is not fair. This is not fair what
they
you're doing.
decide
This
that
is
I
this
now,
right here. What you are doing in this moment is petty as fuck.
and Prince Petty
You are
strikes
literally
again.
bringing up some shit that you know I cannot tell the details on.
Strikes again. This is just a very random
No,
situation.
this is not.
This
not
happens.
hypothetical.
This is totally hypothetical. This happens all the time. Where someone catches a stray. This happens all. No, this is not the first.
He
6th,
said,
7th,
"I don't
third
treat women
time.
petty," and then does this to me in the same fucking 10 minutes.
To be fair, I said women I'm trying to get with.
Right,
so
fine.
let's,
Continue.
I'm just saying, is that stray? Is that petty?
What to
Or
do
is
what,
it
though?
so to be like I'm cutting that person off because of your relationship with other person?
Absolutely not. No.
No.
You know what? Actually, this is a great fucking point. Now that I hear what you're saying, I'm glad you brought this up.
Because I put loyal or petty, and I just want to
Loyal. I am sick and fucking tired of people being like, "Oh, you shouldn't make people take sides." You should take motherfucking sides, bitch. I'm so fucking sick of this. I don't want to take sides. I don't want to take sides.
Trigger warning.
Why don't you use your fucking brain, think critically about the situation, and decide who's fucking wrong too, and just take a fucking side? Literally. I don't even know why I said deep. Motherfuckers be out here all the time acting like, oh, I don't care about this person, da-da-da. They're not even that close to them. They be close with this person, not that person. Oh, but that's not mine to get. It's none of my business. But it is your business.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
It is your business. They're your friend. Why don't you back them up for once? How about that?
But here's my thing, and this is the only reason I wondered about the
He's a
strange.
hypothetical situation.
It is a hypothetical situation. It's certainly just because you got triggered doesn't mean if there's
you know why I'm triggered. It's petty. You triggering me on purpose.
If there's one thing I've always said on this podcast is if you think I'm talking about you, I am. So, but that doesn't mean I'm only talking about you. So, anyways, no. But what I mean to say about the catching strays is that if you're the person who gets eliminated from a situation because of something that someone else did, I feel like it's kind of petty from the angle of the person who gets cut. You're looking at it from the other angle.
I've said on this fine program that I have friends who got into relationships who then integrated their partner into a friend group, and that if they ever broke up, I would not disown the person who came second.
So you wouldn't throw a stray.
If only because of the effort and loyalty that both parties have shown me, that the second person in particular has shown me. Like people, the problem that I have is that people won't do it when it's not, when they're not, that effort isn't mutually there with both parties. So you have to look at the situation and be like, okay, from the perspective of the person who, the two people in the beef, right? Like, if I have a beef with somebody and the person I have a beef with is trying to recruit somebody who's my friend to defend them, maybe that might be fine, except from where, if I'm sitting there like, but, this person is like really important to me and y'all don't have that deeper relationship in the first place. So obviously it's fucking circumstantial to the depth of the relationship between all the fucking parties involved. I'm just saying, I know the situation that you're talking about in this fake hypothetical.
A hypothetical
But I've been
scenario.
in plenty. I do agree with you that this does happen like quite regularly, and I've been in this situation multiple times where I would be in a situation being like, hey, this person isn't being very fucking nice to me. I don't really want to associate with them anymore. And then I tell somebody who I am close to about that, and they try to, be like, oh, you're just being dramatic. It's fine. That person's not even around that often. Just like, whatever, who cares? Or even worse, they'll be fake about it and be like, yeah, you're right. I don't really like them either.
They'll tell you that this person's gonna catch a stray and they won't actually do it.
Yeah, that they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, let's not invite them around anymore, whatever. And then when push comes to shove, they still do it because they were too scared. I don't know what it is. They're too scared of confrontation. That's it for a lot of people, or they just don't feel like it's their responsibility or whatever it is. Fucking miss me with that. I will advocate taking sides forever. Like,
you guys know we've been doing this for a long time. When I could trigger her with that's a hypothetical scenario. It's just beautiful. Look at her. She is cooked. She is on her fire flame right now.
I'm sorry. Like, how else are you supposed? Like, what is loyalty? Like, what is friendship if it's not backing someone up when the fucking shit hits the fan? What else is it?
I agree. Well, since you're already in a ranting mood, you want to go on that big little rant right there?
Yeah, I was going to save that till like the very end of the episode, but fuck it. Let's just do that, and then we'll go on some little
fuck
shit.
it, we ball.
Okay. This is a big thing that I wanted to bring to the petty episode. We need to talk about, I brought it up earlier, these long fucking text messages that you have to literally scroll on them on the screen
the
to
Notes
see the
app.
end. Notes app message, as Lume says.
The Notes app apology. The worst.
It's too fucking much. And I've been caught in this shit many times. And
you sent me a note app the other day.
I did, but that was me being like, oh.
The best part is you said it and then immediately said, shit, I sent a note app, my bad.
I know. I literally said, when I was typing this, it didn't seem like it was going to be this long. But that was like from the heart. Like, that was me being like, hey, let's like talk about this and like get to the bottom of this and fix it.
Which is not
That's
petty.
not the same thing as the Notes app thing where you just like literally like just destroy their fucking life, right? Like, we've all been there. Especially like, I feel like this was key like back in high school even, like just long texts. 10 long texts in a row, like from the club, like just getting to it, getting to the business when you're out and about. Here's the thing, guys. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. It is, I'm not going to lie to you. It is extremely satisfying to send these texts.
In the moment, it's quite therapeutic. It's Therapy Couch 101 is sending the note tap text.
Being the absolute most pettiest person in the world, like just typing that shit out, just 100, what do they say, 100 cuts to the body, like
the slowest death possible.
Every word just perfectly fucking sharp as a knife to just rip their whole life to shreds. Like, that shit is so satisfying, and it will backfire on you 10 times out of 10 times.
There's one scenario I think it doesn't backfire.
Which is what?
Is if you do it the true petty way, is which you send the whole thing and then you
block
them. Yeah, that's the only way it does it.
But see, even then, I would argue that the backfire in that situation is that you don't even get the satisfaction of seeing, like, that's part of what my problem is with this, is that it is a text. So, like, sure, yeah, it's satisfying to know that they received that and saw it, but you don't get the reaction.
What you need it for? That's the last thing you'll ever see. That's how it's petty.
I feel like the beauty of it is knowing that they're upset by what you said. That's what you're hoping for when you send the message. I don't know. You never get that. That's kind of my point. Is that because, like, when you send this message, you're hoping that it just fucking hits them, like, deep. Like, you're trying to be petty. You're trying to be mean. Maybe this is too niche.
No, I mean, as
a Kristen problem.
As someone who's received the, like, notes app text and then the block, like,
you think that's bad?
It hurts because now I can't say anything. Like it's like you win. Because now if I'm mad and I feel like actually I could come back at that whole notes app and I got you and you're going to feel bad, well, I'm blocked. So you're not getting the message. So now I'm sitting here as the sucker who you got the last laugh, haha, and then just, damn.
I do see your point. I don't necessarily just disagree, but seeing as there was no greater satisfaction ever than when I liked the long message.
I mean, but you could have done that and then blocked. It would hit.
True, but you know I wasn't gonna block him. You knew I was gonna let him.
Well, we know you was gonna let that come back around happen. So we know how.
Just took a couple years.
We know how you do, but like.
But none of this is even really the point. This is interesting stuff. But let me bring another
please
side to this end. There is no response for them to have that is gonna make you happy or give you that satisfaction. Because, like, when you have that much literature to hit them with, you have that many receipts to hit them with,
it's probably over.
First of all, they already know on some level, even if it's not consciously, that they are in the wrong, A, or B, they're fucking stupid, or C, they just did you wrong. Like, if you're not making shit up, like, there's plenty of times where people say wild stuff, they make shit up, like, whatever. But if you have legitimate receipts of shit that they actually did, there's no way that on some level that person is, like, functioning enough to not have done that original shit either on purpose or they're just that stupid. And so their response to you is not going to give you that satisfaction that you're looking for, because they will never, if they're just mean, they did that shit on purpose. That's scenario one.
Facts.
They will never fucking cop to that shit. They will deny till they die because they aren't true to this, not new to this.
All day.
Or if they're just too stupid, then they'll either do the ultimate petty thing, which is pick out, like, one little thing that doesn't even matter and, like,
just
fucking
the one
just
thing
acknowledge that one little thing.
The one thing you over dramatize slightly, and they'll be like, "I'm gonna come back."
Well,
and
this
attack
specific
that.
thing, and you're like, "That's not even close to the point," but whatever. Or they'll just be like, "I didn't do that," when they did.
What you talking about?
So it's like, or, like, the mean person will be like, "Well, I'm not doing this texting thing." Like, they won't even acknowledge their actions. Or they'll make you, like we've already said, make you into the bad guy for even being mad at the foul shit that they be doing. They'll make themselves into the victim. I mean, the fucking list is literally endless. But all of those type of responses are not going to make you feel better for seeing it. It's going to make you feel worse. So sending the message in the first place, I am going to agree with you 100% that if you're going to do it, you do have to block. Because no matter what the fuck they say back, it's not going to make you feel good.
It's a wrap. You are more than likely disgusted. More than likely not feeling it whatsoever. So wait, do you believe then that So do you believe it's petty, the message?
To send it at all?
Or do you think it's just... It's like I hear that you're saying it's probably just not a good idea overall.
No, yeah, it's not a good idea. I mean, yes, it's petty, and for that exact reason, like we said, immature, not a good idea.
Well, it's a good idea when I was 10 years old.
But also, again, I've done it. Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes it just has to be done.
Hey, I'm like, we
all have our moments for pettiness.
Mine are just 24/7, 365.
But funny enough, I'm actually way more likely to do this. I don't even remember last time I did this to a dude I was talking to. Yes, I do. I'm fucking lying.
I know. I was about to say, like,
motherfucker. I know exactly.
I was like, wow, we're gonna just let her lie on the podcast.
Okay, but funny enough, I actually didn't think of that until just this moment. But funny enough, when I did do that to that guy that I was talking to, what I was gonna say is that I only do this to friends or like women, and not to like romantic interest, because I'm just like, LOL, smiley face.
Mm-hmm. You're like, keep it moving. We keep it moving. Rah.
To be fair, when I did recently do this to this guy that I was talking to, the original intent was that he was mad at me and I felt bad, funny enough. And then when I thought about it and more, I was like,
hold up.
Wait a second.
Hold up. You were like, let me load the chamber up real quick.
Wait a second. Tricks got tricked.
I had to load the chamber up.
So the first long message was basically me being like, I'm sorry, I feel bad, which is honestly even probably worse because...
Wait, so you sent two? Is that like an apology one and then an angry one?
Man, I can't even remember. Oof. I sent like a long one, quote unquote, explain. Anytime you're like, I just have to explain, you already know. First red flag.
I have to explain.
Bad.
No.
So I sent that one, and then he did the thing where he just like picked out one irrelevant fact and like harped on that for a while. And then I just started getting madder and madder. And then you know how it is. You're just in it. You're spiraling. I'm spiraling. We're in the conversation. He's replying really quick. It's like, fuck.
Can't do it. I can't.
Tricks got tricked that day. Okay.
What can I say? So what else you want to talk about?
Moving on. Oh, okay. We have a couple of just chef's kiss examples of petty shit that people have done. Some of these are from TikTok. Some of these are from fucking people telling us. This was the most petty thing I have literally ever heard.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
When I saw this, when I tell you my jaw fucking dropped, I was like, this might be the actual peak of the mountain of pettiness.
I was so proud. I was genuine. First of all, you know when you see somebody do something and you're one, amazed, but then two, mad that you didn't think of it? 100%.
And kind of the beauty of this one, like, we got some other ones on here that are like a little more involved. This shit is so fucking simple. It's the simplest thing in the world.
So easy.
She literally, without telling him, ripped out the page in his passport that has all his information and picture on it.
Just the one page.
Just the one page. And didn't tell him and just, boop, back in the drawer.
Just gave it right back.
Can you imagine?
And I don't know any of y'all.
No, just stop. Imagine you're pulling up to the airport for your international flight. And you just get up to the TSA guy, and he's like, "Tutu,
let me see your passport." And there you go.
It's missing.
And the TSA guy looks at you like, "What the fuck are you trying to pull here, bro? There's nothing here."
I mean,
that was beautiful. Like,
it's so simple.
The prince bows down to such actions because just all of the past all of the logistics of what it's going to take and getting that replaced or whatever, knowing full well that whenever he looks at this passport, it's the worst thing in the world. Mm-hmm. So if he doesn't look at it till the moment he's at TSA, he's probably getting pulled aside like, oh, you're some shady
done.
dude.
I mean,
whatever.
you're not going on your trip in that moment.
Trip is over.
It's over, yeah.
If he pulls it out at home, now he's freaking out about when is his trip.
Panic.
He's paying. He's like calling. He's got to pay.
Panic. Money.
Nothing but absolute. This is crazy is going through his head, and that's just incredible. Incredible.
A plus.
Best one I've seen. Best petty moment I've ever seen. That's just
What else we got?
beautiful.
Oh. Okay, we got to hit this one. This one was so good. I've been saving this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm about to start doing this high key. The men could do this too, but I feel like it's more applicable to women.
It's definitely more applicable to women.
We gonna start, ladies. We gonna start having the graveyard. We gonna have the graveyard open for business. Now, when I put this on the list, you were like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." I had to thoroughly explain it.
I needed a whole PowerPoint presentation.
As we good and well know, women do not. Anyone. You don't save motherfuckers' numbers off jump.
Yeah, that's well, I do, but I'm a simp. Continue.
No, I literally your experiment 425 until further fucking notice. No, your number's not getting saved. So given that, and really even after you save their number, it's not really the point, but it's still kind of the point because you need to save their number as something so you don't know not to respond to them.
Correct.
You can't just leave it. The point is if this person's being hella toxic, it's back and forth, whatever. Or if they ghost you, doesn't matter what they do, it's done, right? Mm-hmm. It needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Instead of blocking, because then, sometimes you be going back through that block list and you're like, whose number is this? Blah, 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 blah.
Or you get a new phone and the block list doesn't transfer.
Exactly. It's all kinds of situations. Some people need to be blocked, don't get me wrong. But for those that don't, you just fucking save that phone number under the gravestone emoji. And so you create a nice little graveyard in your contact list.
And when she explained this is specifically just the graveyard emoji.
Only.
No numbers,
no other
additional
identifier.
Emojis. So you can have 10 motherfuckers popping up, all as the graveyard. And you just know, leave them right there to rest
in
peace.
Do not disturb the dead. If them ghosts call you, them ghosts be texting you, you see that little fucking gravestone emoji pop up.
Scary hours, spooky season.
Nah. You don't need that karmic energy. Just do not disturb the dead, okay? We don't even know who it is.
I absolutely love this because, first of all, it's petty beyond belief. To just let somebody be in there. I think it's silly when people just have a bunch of emojis for their context anyways, but this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Second, because you're not blocked.
Right.
As someone who, as I've highlighted, has been blocked, there's nothing worse than it's like those guys that be popping in DMs and they're having a conversation with themselves. Mm-hmm. This is the guy having the conversation with himself.
100%.
The iMessage is getting delivered. It's going through. For all we know, you even have the red receipts on. Who cares?
Spooky
Graveyard. So they just never get a response.
Nope.
And
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just a great reminder that, you don't go back to check on the trash after you already took it out, and you don't disturb the fucking dead. And that's just that.
Have you always said that?
I've always said that. There's one thing I've always said.
Well, all right.
It's that.
Take notes. Take notes. That's